It's a good AGam in Kansas morning. Good morning. Let's take a look and see what's coming up today. First, Dr. Chris Blevins shares information about esophageal obstruction condition called choke. Next, meet the three-member K-State Crops team, and then learn about the 2017 crop winter schools for corn, soybeans, and sorghum. Then K-State's Dr. Harold Trick explains his team's work to enhance resistance to soybean cyst nematodes. We'll end with a look at how cattle beef producers make improvements to their herd through new technologies. Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine. Your stem cells, your health, your life.
Hello and welcome to Horsing Around. I'm Dr. Chris Blevins at Kansas State University Veterinary Health Center. And today we're going to talk about a topic that a lot of people may have to deal with their horses, and it can make for a very anxious time for the horse and an anxious time for an owner, and that's esophageal obstruction, also called choke. And so when a horse chokes, it's not necessarily that they get something lodged in their throat latch, but it is getting stuck food material in their throat or in their esophagus, which is the tube that attaches from their throat latch down into their stomach. And how that happens with horses could be a multiple of different reasons, but what I think we need to start with as far as talking about is what would your horse do or show if you were worried about the horse choking? And that's having fluid or food material come out the nose and even the mouth of the horse. They can also be very anxious, pacing around. Some of them may even act like they're colicking and roll. And so I think some of those things you need to be cautious of and be able to understand if you notice these things, then you need to call your veterinarian. Choke is not necessarily a drastic emergency, so we have to fix it right then, but it is an urgency. So what can an owner do before the veterinarian gets there? One, you have to remember that the horse is obstructed. It can't get anything into its stomach. So you need to take away all its food and all its water and put it in a quiet place. So we want to make sure that the head is down and keep the horse as relaxed as possible until the veterinarian gets there to try to prevent them from aspirating or getting food and bacteria into the lungs from the trachea. And so that is a complication that sure can arise with any time a horse chokes. And that wouldn't necessarily cause any issues right then, but sure could later. Now, having your veterinarian out there is usually what's needed to have that recovered. Some horses will recover on their own if they relax and calm down and they can swallow it on down, but otherwise the veterinarian need to get a hold of them. They need to come out and they can pass a tube to relieve that obstruction. Other aspects is putting them usually on antibiotics and making sure that they have proper pain control during the healing process. Cause could be due to teeth, could be due to a stricture, or could be that the horse was actually bolting their food. So your veterinarian can sure help you in trying to prevent those later on and keeping pelleted feed moist down, especially those horses that really want to bolt at their feed can kind of prevent an obstruction called choke. If you have any questions, get a hold of your veterinarian or get us a call here at Kansas State Veterinary Health Center. I'm Dr. Chris Blevins for Horsing Around, and we'll see you around.
The new Better Horses Network is worldwide. Presented by Lucas Oil. Featuring worldwide radio and TV with iconic hosts like Al Dunning, Sharon Camarillo, Ernie Rodina, Lindy Birch, and Craig Cameron. With American Cowboy, Horse and Rider, Brushy Creek, Cavenders, and Ride TV. Worldwide radio and TV. The all-new Better Horses Network.
Buying a car shouldn't be this hard. And at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, it isn't. It's actually awesome. Whether you want a new or used car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. Even if you want to custom order a new car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. See Toby's team at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're awesome.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, Sure Crop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. Sure Crop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose Sure Crop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Wheat. Learn more at rediscoverwheat.org.
My name is Sarah Zerger, and I'm a junior in agronomy at Kansas State University, and my option is in consulting and production within agronomy, and I'm on the K-State Crops Judging team.
My name is Hayden Getterman. I'm from Bucyrus, Kansas. I'm a senior in agronomy in the business and industry option. I got involved with crops team mainly through my two past uncles were on the crops team, so I wanted to kind of continue the legacy.
I am Jessie Bramhall. I'm a senior in agronomy from Kansas State University. I'm from Seneca, Kansas originally. I am a senior in consulting and production. That's my option. And I will be graduating this December.
With this being if we win this year, it'd be the 8th consecutive. Definitely puts some pressure on because we definitely want to win. But I also think that if you don't think about it and you just do it just for the fun of it and for your own personal benefit, then the pressure is not really that big of a deal for me anyways.
So we have 3 parts of the contest. We have the identification portion, which mostly showcases mature plants, followed by the seed analysis portion, which we get a base sample set where we have different seeds put in there. So there's live crops, there's prohibited noxious weeds, there's restricted noxious weeds, and then there's common weeds that we have to pick out and identify. And then we have a grain grading portion where we have several different sets of different grains where we have to inspect them, pick out the foreign material, the damaged kernels, etc., and then give it a grade at the end of the contest.
I think my strength for the crops team is the grain grading. I seem to do pretty well at it. I've had some history with it when I worked at an elevator. I think seed analysis also is another strength of mine. Being in the certified seed wheat business that my family has, knowing what seeds are in there is an important factor for that.
I feel like I'm best at identification and the grain grading portion of the contest. I wasn't really familiar with grain grading when I came into this, but after doing it, practicing it several times, I became more experienced at it and became a lot better.
Coaching is crucial in crops judging. Kansas State has our biggest factor, and that would be our crops coach, Dr. Kevin Donnelly. He is a huge asset to our team. If we didn't have him, we wouldn't be putting in the time. He gives us the motivation to put in all the hours. He would stay here till 2 a.m. if we really wanted to stay in practice, and he wants us to do our best, even if that isn't winning.
So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I have classes in the morning, and then Tuesdays and Thursdays I have class in the afternoon. So whenever I have available time between classes, then I'll fit that crops practice in. So if I can do one portion faster than another, then I'll fit that in where I have less time. But if I have a really open schedule and I don't have to work or teach another class, then I'll do a longer portion or multiple portions at a time.
The overall best compensation we can get out of crops team is a resume builder. Many different industry and business leaders look at that and realize how much time and dedication we have to put into it because of our previous national championships and the standard we want to uphold.
I want to go into the consulting area within agronomy, so preferably working for a seed company or any consulting company doing scouting or things like that. And so definitely the ID portion of this will definitely help with that.
I plan on going back to the farm after graduation, so I see with the identification portion through this contest has really helped me to identify weeds and other types of crops out in the fields.
I've just accepted a full-time job with Wilbur Ellis in Northeast Kansas as a sales agronomist. This competition particularly helped me with identification, so I feel more than qualified to go out there and help farmers identify what weeds are problems on their fields and what we can do to help with it.
If you're searching for bulls that offer genetic flexibility, then come to the Dale Banks Angus Bull Sale, Saturday, November 19th, near Eureka, Kansas. Selling 140 bulls that have spent their lives in rough Flint Hills pastures. For 112 years, the Perriers have been focused on providing hard-working, balanced trait bulls for progressive cattlemen nationwide. Make plans to join us on November 19th or bid online at liveauctions.tv. Call the Perriers at 620-583-4305 or dalebanks.com.
Ag Promo Source is a unique group of marketing specialists with one mission: help your ag business grow. Each affiliate has their own area of expertise, and they work together to bring you advice, products, and services. To get started, visit agpromosource.com. Ag Promo Source. Together we grow.
KFRM is one of the largest farm radio stations in the nation, dedicated to informing and entertaining rural listeners from northern Oklahoma to southwestern Nebraska. You can catch KFRM in many ways. Of course, 550 on the AM dial, streaming at kfrm.com, or on your smartphone by going to the TuneIn Radio app, or on AGam in Kansas on Tuesdays and Facebook every day of the week. KFRM, tune us in. You'll be glad you did.
This segment brought to you by Sure Crop, liquid crop nutrition delivered right to your farm.
Good morning. My name is Dr. Ignacio Ciampiti. I'm cropping system specialist at K-State Department of Agronomy. We are right now working in preparing and organizing all the 2017 crop winter schools activities. So all the information collected in 2016 is information that we're really trying to put it together and make sure our farmers will have access to. So stay tuned. This year we are looking about, again, 3 different crop schools. We'll have corn schools in 3 locations, second week of January, and we'll have soybean schools, 3 locations, last week of January, and then we'll have the sorghum schools, 4 locations in the first week of February. The idea of the schools is exactly the same. The goal is to make sure that farmers can have in one stop, one place, all the information related to crop production, disease, insect, fertilization, economics. The idea is to make sure that you farmers are really just stopping in one place and getting all the information that you need to make sure that you have a really successful 2017 growing season. We also will have in many of these schools farmer panels. We are recruiting farmers with the idea of making sure that we have the important feedback and important information coming from farmers about what were the challenges on 2016, what were the main limiting factors facing corn, soybean, and sorghum, and also trying to communicate what were the best practices that they found working in their fields and really increasing productivity. As you all know, we are facing very challenging economic times in terms of crop prices, so we are looking for increasing efficiency of input use. And that's why will be one of the main topics in our schools, how we really can increase the use of inputs, but more efficiently. So with the idea of saying, when you're looking at your crops, you will be looking at your crops at bushels produced by basically what was the cost of producing those bushels. This, again, working in 3 different schools. The corn schools in 2017 will be on the second week of January. We will have 3 locations. Basically, we will be targeting very new topics, on-farm research, precision planters, economics, new fertilization strategies. That will be focusing on the corn schools on the second week of January. Then we will have last week of January our soybean schools in 3 locations, and again focusing on new topics, having invited presentations. Trying to have these rapid talks of 20 minutes so we can get more topics and new faces for our farmers. And the last one will be the first week of February, related to the sorghum schools, 4 locations and a similar format, trying to provide the most updated information in terms of challenges that with farmers who are facing this last growing season, emphasizing sugarcane, aphid, emphasizing problems of standability, emphasizing issues of double crop yields, and emphasizing issues presented in the grain filling when the heads were not really filling properly. So we will focus on these all new topics, really relevant for farmers. So we will be looking forward to interact with our farmers on these 3 crop winter schools. So be looking for e-updates in our K-State Agronomy Department. So if you want to look for that information, so go to ksu.edu, agronomy, and then within the Agronomy Department, just check in our e-update tab. Just look for the new e-update that will present all the information related to the schools, and also how you can register and any contact information related to all the locations.
No matter where, no matter why, the Veterinary Health Center at Kansas State University is committed to providing quality patient care to animals and exceptional customer service to their owners. From routine checkups to emergency and specialty care, our world-renowned specialists and experienced professionals are here to discover, to teach, and to heal.
Let us know.
How can I help?
How can we help?
Ag Promo Source is a unique group of marketing specialists with one mission: help your ag business grow. Each affiliate has their own area of expertise, and they work together to bring you advice, products, and services. To get started, visit agpromosource.com. Ag Promo Source. Together we grow.
Clyde Sutton, Nest City, Kansas. Lived on this place all my life. About 1.5 years ago, got to where I couldn't saddle a horse. The pain was terrible. Read about stem cell. First it wasn't for me, then they started doing neck and back. Before I went down to Manhattan, the pain I was having from my neck down to my hand was curling my hand back. Some people had thought I almost had a stroke, and my shoulder had drawn up. I couldn't lift, I couldn't sleep, I really couldn't do anything, and was scheduled to be operated on, but was scared of the knife, I guess. Went and had it done. As you can see, I saddled a horse. I'm still building fence. Love to shoot a shotgun rifle, and I'm able to participate, not like I used to, but nevertheless I can do the things I used to do. And I want to personally thank the doctors, nurses, staff at Kansas Regenerative Medicine for the opportunity they give me to have my life back again.
Here's another gardening tip with Annette Jackson from Jackson's Greenhouse.
Fall is a great time to plant, and if you would like fresh fruit, grapes, or berries to eat next year, now is an ideal time to plant.
We'll show you how, what, and where to plant for a successful crop of delicious, healthy fruit. We have a great selection and great service. Come see us at Jackson's.
Our entire stock of shrubs, roses, berries, perennials, and trees are now on sale at 25% off. Hurry out for your best selection.
Jackson's Greenhouse has what you need today.
Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Corn. Learn more at kscorn.com.
The idea will be when the nematodes go and feed on the roots of the soybeans, they will be ingesting these small molecules. And these small molecules will target specific genes within the nematode and for gene silencing. And so if the genes are turned off, the nematode will either lose fitness or will reduce the reproduction. In conjunction with Tim Todd in our department, what we've done is we've looked at trying to enhance the soybeans for the resistance against soybean cyst nematodes. And the way we did this was we were looking to actually turn specific genes off in the nematode. And in order to do that, we create genetically engineered vectors. We put those into soybeans. So basically this process is called RNA interference, or RNAi. And it's basically it's a way to turn genes off or down-regulate them. And so We had to look for specific traits that we thought that was necessary for the nematode. And then after we found those specific genes in the nematodes, then we'd actually go about and create these vectors, specifically targeting those genes. This is a genetically engineered product. We put those into a specific line of soybean. And after that point, then what we need to do is take these traits and then move those over into Kansas adapted cultivars, so that we can then try to go out and deploy these in the fields eventually. So what we've done is we then took the nematodes that were left on these transgenic soybean plants, and we've actually ground them up, looked specifically at the genes and the regulation, and we show that actually we do suppress those genes within those nematodes. We've also noticed that with some of these plants, we have up to 85% reduction in the number of nematodes.
Biodiesel made from sustainable resources is diversifying our fuel supply. This year, biodiesel will displace over 1 billion gallons of fossil fuel nationwide. It's making our economy stronger and our communities healthier. It's working here and across America. Get biodiesel going in your community. Visit americasadvancedbiofuel.com.
Grain sorghum is one of the most important cereal crops worldwide, and Kansas leads the nation in its production. Over the years, sorghum has been either exported, used in animal feed domestically, or for other industrial uses. Recently, its use in the ethanol market has seen tremendous growth, with 30% of domestic sorghum typically going to ethanol production. Kansas Grain Sorghum is committed to sorghum research, market development, and education. Learn more at ksgrainsorghum.org.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
We see new technological advances every day, and the beef community is seeing the impact.
So we look at the history of genetic evaluation going all the way back before we had genetic evaluation, and those technologies and the evolution of that and the advent of DNA technologies that are complementing that. And then how do we push that and make genetic gain and accelerate that, and using technologies like IVF coupled with traditional embryo transfer in that to change generation interval and make with younger and younger animals and accelerate that.
The dairy industry has led the way, encouraging the beef side to follow suit to get the best genetics into the hands of commercial producers.
We're starting to see that evolution begin to happen in beef. And the beef industry, as these technologies are combined and come together, focus on quality of products, animal longevity, all these traits and the specifics that are going to be needed for commercial producers to continue to have success and make genetic gains and focus in on target markets is going to take bringing all these technologies together at all levels of the beef pyramid, as I call it, all the way from the nucleus genetics all the way down to the food we produce for our consumers.
Improvements begin with knowing the baseline genetic merit of a herd, then using tools for targeted improvement.
And even from a simplistic sense of just understanding their population and what their goals are and setting breeding goals, and then when they purchase animals, setting goals of where those genetic merit values need to be, what is the endpoint, what are they trying to do. I think it's going to become critical for all of us to continue to be successful in these areas and in the industry in using those. It might not be using all the tools, but it's going to be using parts of it and pieces of it to make those genetic advancements happen.
It's not going to be a one-size-fits-all plan, but the geneticist says there is an avenue to improvement for everyone.
It's going to have to even be much greater. And it's going to take the use of a lot of different technologies and finding that mix and match of what works in an environment and for you to continue to be profitable and be able to, for generations to come, to utilize this.
I'm Bob Cervera.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.